Hello, this is Lucas, and in this video I'm going to be going over animations in CSS, and we're going to just create a few basic animations. We're not going to go too advanced into it, just the basic idea of how animations work. So I have this div created here. We named it div1, and I've added a bit of CSS into it, just a basic. We have this box here, and we're going to be animating this div right here. Alright, so first we need to create the animation. Okay, so we need to add a keyframe, so keyframes, and then we're gonna name our animation. So let's just go with example 1. Alright. Make sure it's only one at. We don't need two. I don't know why 2 got added. And then we're gonna set what our animation will go from to. Okay, so we're gonna go from. Okay, so we're gonna do from. Let's change the background color to, let's do red. Okay, and then we're going to do 2, so it's going to go from this to this, and let's do the same thing. Let's change the background color, and I don't know, we'll do it yellow. And then once this animation finishes, it's going to go back to its original state, which is green. Now in our actual div, we need to assign this div to this animation. So the way we do that is we have given this animation a unique name, so example 1. So we're going to use this now, and we're going to assign this to this name here, to this animation. So we're going to do animation name, and we're going to put in an example, which is just example 1. And then we need to set the time that we want this animation to occur for. So how long will it go from point A to point B? So we'll do animation duration. And let's say we want to do 3 seconds, so we do 3s. So now we can save that. We can go to our page here, and once I refresh this, the animation will start. See, you change it from green to yellow, and then change it back to green. Okay, which is just its default color. So let's do that again. Okay, goes to yellow, and then it becomes green. It becomes green back to its default 1. Okay. So that's the start. Let's make this a bit faster. So let's change this to 6. Or make it slower. Refresh this, and you can see it'll just take 6 seconds. So this is just the time that we can do. Now the next thing, something cool that we can do is we can set. Let's change this color. Let's change this to red. Actually, let's change this to red. Now we can actually set. It's like when an animation should occur. So instead of doing 4, what we can do is we can do 0%, and we can do, let's say, 50%. So what this means is our animation will start off at red at 0%, and it will go on for 6 seconds, and at 50 seconds, at 3 seconds, so 50% through our animation, we're going to change it to yellow. You can add a few more, so let's change this. Let's do this as, I don't know. I think what should we do? Let's do blue, and let's say we want to change this when it's a quarter way through it, and then let's do it one more time. And let's say we want to change this to green, and we want to change this at 100%. Okay, so now we can save that. Go back to our page. Refresh this. You can see it will take 6 seconds to occur, and it will go at 0%. It'll be red, then it'll go at 24%. So a quarter way through this animation, it'll be blue. Then halfway through, at 3 seconds, it'll be yellow, and then it'll finish off at green. So we can refresh this, just like that. Okay. So that's the way we can set what animation we want at a specific time. We can also move it as well. So this acts just as normal CSS. So we can just keep adding on to this. So we can move it. So let's say we want to, at the very start of animation, we want it just to be at the position that's in. So we do left. Let's also do top. Let's do 0 pixels. But then, I'm trying to copy this. We want it to move around for a bit, so let's do a few more here. And let's move this. Let's change this to, let's say we want to move this to 200. the top, we'll keep this 0. Then we want to move it. We want to keep it at 200, but we want to move it down. So 200. Change this to 0, 0 at the very end. So let's see how this looks like. So for some reason it is not moving. That is because we are missing semicolons at the end here. Okay, refresh this. Oh, and we need to set the position. That's right, that's right. Because this is going to be moving now, we need to change the position to relative. Okay? Just like that. Okay, so that's the animation. Now we can add a delay onto this. So what we can do is we can do animation. Let's see, where are we? Animation delay. So this is how long it takes before the animation starts. So let's go to a page. We have set a 2 seconds. There you go. And it takes 2 seconds, and then our animation starts again. Okay, so that is delay. What we can do is we can set the number of times we want this animation to run. So at the moment it's just one time. It's just going to run one time. We can do this. Where are we? Iteration count. Animation iteration count. So we can have like a value of 3. What this means is this animation will run 3 times. So once. It's one time. And then there's a second time. Let's say we can have 1, which is default. We can have 10. Or let's say if you want to do it all the time, we can have it as infinity. And this will just continue to run non-stop. We can also change the direction. So if we go animation direction, there you go. And so by default it's normal. It just goes from this position to this position to this position and so on. That's normal. We can have reverse. This would just go the opposite way now. Okay, now it's going the opposite way. Let's remove this delay so it's a bit quicker. Also, let's change this to 2. Okay, that's going the opposite way. We can do, let's see, we can do alternate. Okay, the alternate, basically it goes one way, then it bounces that way. So it will start off going the normal way, and then when it gets there, it will bounce the other way. Okay, then we can do alternate reverse. This is the same thing, except we will start off. Let me just do that. Now this is just the opposite way. We'll start off going reverse, and then it will bounce up and go normal, and it will just start off going in the reverse way. Okay, so that's all that does. Let's remove that. We don't really need that. Next thing we can do is the speed curve. If you see my last video, we went over this with transitions. So what we can do is we can go with animation timing function. So by default, it is ease. The animation is slow at the start, then it's fast, then it's slow at the end again. Okay, so by default, this is ease. Then we have linear. This is just the same speed throughout the whole animation. You can see it's not slowing down and it's not speeding up anyway. It's just the same speed. Then we have, so we have ease in. Ease in is basically just slow at the start. We have ease out, which is slow at the end, and then we have ease in out. Ease in out is just it's slow at the start and it's slow at the very end.